He pushed a mop across the floor of a billion-dollar company. Nobody looked at him twice. That was exactly what he wanted. Morgan Caldwell did not walk into rooms. She arrived. When she stepped through a door, people adjusted. Posture straightened. Voices dropped. Smiles appeared on faces that had no reason to smile. She had built Caldwell Group from nothing, and she'd done it alone. Her husband died when their son was still small. Everyone expected her to collapse. The business pages predicted it. Her own lawyers advised her to sell. She didn't sell. She cried in private, wiped her face, and went back to work the next morning harder than every man around her. That was 18 years ago. Now Caldwell Group had 4 office towers, 2 warehouses, a logistics division, and investment arms in 3 states. Morgan sat at the top of all of it with the same quiet fire she'd carried since day one. But her greatest asset wasn't any of that. It was her son, Deven. He had been abroad for 3 years studying business strategy. Smart, calm, careful with his words. Morgan spoke about him the way people speak about something they worked hard to protect. That Tuesday morning, she sat at her desk with a financial report open in front of her and her longtime assistant, Rita, standing nearby with a fresh folder. "He lands Thursday," Morgan said without looking up. Rita smiled. "You must be relieved." "Relieved." Morgan set her pen down. "And thinking. About what?" "About who he comes home to." She turned to the window. "Every woman in that building is going to smile at him. Every single one. But not because of him. Because of this." She gestured at the office, at the towers, at everything. "I want to know which one would still smile if this disappeared tomorrow." Rita was quiet for a moment. "There are 3 I've been watching," Morgan continued. "Brianna, Kylie, and Jordan. 3 names. 3 women. 3 very different kinds of trouble." Brianna worked in accounts. She was quiet, early, consistent. The kind of person who got overlooked at company parties because she never pushed to be noticed. Kylie worked in marketing. She was sharp, beautiful, and knew exactly how to fill a room. She dressed like she'd already won something. Jordan worked in administration. Soft-spoken, careful, always respectful, especially when senior staff were nearby. Morgan had watched all 3 for months. In meetings, in hallways, in small, unguarded moments they didn't know anyone was observing. She had learned long ago that what people showed you was not who they were. "Call Brianna first," she said. Brianna came in without rushing. She sat with her hands folded in her lap and waited without filling the silence. Morgan studied her. "I called you because my son is coming home," she said. "And I've been watching you. Not because you did something wrong. Because you haven't." Brianna blinked. "Ma'am, you come early. You do your work. You treat the receptionist the same way you treat department heads. That matters to me." Morgan paused. "I'm not arranging anyone's marriage. My son makes his own choices. But I'd like him to meet you when he's settled." Brianna was quiet for a moment. "I'm grateful," she said. "Truly. But I don't know your son. And he doesn't know me. Whatever's supposed to happen, I think it should happen on its own." Morgan watched her. "You're not excited." "I'm grateful," Brianna said again. "But I don't want to start dreaming about someone I've never met. That's not fair to either of us." The answer landed quietly without performance. Morgan nodded once. "Don't say a word about this conversation." "I won't," Brianna said. She stood, thanked her, and left without looking back. The door closed. Morgan sat still for a long moment. Then she reached for her pen and wrote one word on a notepad. She didn't let anyone see it. "Rita, get me Kylie." Kylie arrived like the weather changed. She was smiling before she sat down. Poised, bright, perfectly assembled. "Kylie," Morgan said. "My son is coming back from abroad." "Oh my goodness." Kylie pressed her hand to her chest. "Congratulations. You must be so happy." "I am. I've also been watching you. You're talented. You know how to read people. You work hard when it matters." "Thank you so much. Honestly, that means everything coming from you." I'd like him to meet you when he returns. Something shifted behind Kylie's eyes. Just barely. But it shifted. Your son, she said slowly. Yes, of course. I would be honored. She folded her hands. You won't regret this. I promise. Morgan thanked her and dismissed her. Kylie walked down the hallway and didn't make it 15 steps before she felt the weight of the moment fully land. By the time she reached her desk, she wasn't working anymore. She was somewhere else entirely. Somewhere with private cars and first-class flights and staff who greeted her by title. Her desk neighbor, Aisha, noticed immediately. Why are you glowing? Did you get a raise? Kylie glanced around. Some things are bigger than a raise. Tell me. Not here. Aisha's eyes went wide. But Kylie picked up a folder and pretended to read it. Inside, she was already practicing a new name. Future Mrs. Deven Caldwell. Back in her office, Morgan wrote a second word on her notepad. She called Jordan next. Jordan arrived softly, the way she always did. She thanked Morgan for calling her. She listened. She said the right things. You've sacrificed so much. God has kept him for you. You deserve this peace. Morgan watched her speak and noticed how carefully each sentence was built. I've been watching you, Morgan said. Your calmness is something. Thank you, ma'am. My son is old enough to settle down. I'd like him to meet you. Jordan's expression stayed perfectly measured. I'm grateful. Truly. A man raised by a woman like you must be something special. Morgan thanked her and let her go. Jordan walked back to her desk slowly. Unlike Kylie, she didn't float. She calculated. This is my opening. I just need to be in the right position before anyone else moves. She started that same afternoon. Subtle visits to Rita's desk. Small gifts. Careful questions wrapped in casual conversation. Auntie Rita, how is Madam holding up with everything? She's fine, honey. And her son. Is he coming back soon or is it still a while? Rita smiled without answering. When Madam wants people to know, she'll say. Jordan laughed softly and walked away. But she'd already planted a flag. Thursday came. Deven Caldwell stepped off the private jet and into his mother's arms. He was tall, calm, brown-skinned with close-cut hair and the kind of stillness that made you think he was always listening even when he wasn't talking. That evening, after he'd eaten and rested, Morgan sat with him. You have something to say, he said before she could start. You know me too well. You've had that face since dinner. It's about the future. He leaned back. Sounds serious. 3 names. Brianna, Kylie, Jordan. He blinked. 3 women. They all work in the building. I've been watching them for months. So before I even unpack, you're already running interviews. I'm not running interviews. I'm pointing a flashlight. She looked at him. Deven, when you walk into that building as my son, every single person will perform. They'll smile. They'll be gracious. They'll say the right things. You won't see anyone. He was quiet. But if you walk in as someone they think has nothing, she let it sit. You want me to go in as a cleaner. She hadn't said it. He had. I want you to tell me how it sounds to you, she said carefully. He thought for a long time. I've seen how people treat janitors, he said finally. They talk around them like they're furniture. They drop things on purpose. They act like the whole office belongs to them. Yes. Then that's exactly why I should do it. He looked at her. If any of those women can look at a man they think is broke and still treat him like a human being, I'll know. If they can't, he spread his hands. I'll know that too. Morgan was quiet for a long moment. You're your father's son, she said. Is that a yes? That's a very cautious yes. I can handle cautious. Don't expose yourself when they insult you. I won't. Promise me. I promise. She picked up her phone and called her operations manager. Caleb arrived in 10 minutes. A serious, loyal man who had worked for Morgan for 7 years. She trusted him completely. Caleb, she said. My son is going to join the cleaning staff tomorrow morning. No one can know who he is. Caleb looked at Deven. Sir, most staff don't know your face. They've been expecting you to show up in a suit. So I won't wear a suit. What name? Deven. It's common enough. Nobody will connect it. I'll speak to the cleaning supervisor first thing. You'll have a uniform and an assignment. Nobody else knows, Morgan said. Just us three. Understood, ma'am. The plan was set. Tomorrow, the heir to Caldwell Group would carry a mop. He looked nothing like a billionaire. Faded uniform slightly too big. Plain cap pulled low. A bucket in one hand, a mop in the other. Mr. Price, the cleaning supervisor, was a compact man with tired eyes and a fair heart. He'd been with the building for years. This is serious work, he told Deven flatly. No excuses. No shortcuts. You spill, you wipe. You finish a floor, you do it again if it spots. You hear? Yes, sir. Start at reception. Deven started at reception. Staff arrived in waves. Some stepped around the wet floor without acknowledging him. One man dropped a paper cup near the trash can, missed deliberately and kept walking. Deven picked it up. No reaction. He just kept mopping. Brianna came in early. She stopped when she saw the wet floor. Morning, she said to him. Sorry. Let me wait for this section to dry before I walk through. You can pass on the other side, ma'am. I'll hit that part again. No, don't redo your work for me. I can wait. She waited. 30 seconds. Then stepped through carefully. Thank you. Thank you. She turned back. For what? For waiting. She smiled once. The kind of smile that wasn't trying to be seen. Work is work. If someone cleaned a floor, the least I can do is not ruin it. She walked away. Deven watched the space where she'd been standing. First impression. Noted. Kylie arrived differently. Her heels announced her before she turned the corner. Fitted blazer. Expensive bag. Perfume that moved through the air ahead of her. Ma'am, Deven said. Careful, floor's still wet. She stopped. Excuse you. Are you implying I can't see? I'm just letting you know, ma'am. And is this seriously when you chose to mop? When people are arriving? I was following the schedule. Your schedule is inconsiderate. She stepped around him like he was a piece of furniture someone had moved into the wrong place. Do it again. That side is streaky. That's your job. Deven nodded. He remopped the floor. His jaw was tight, but his face showed nothing. He'd made a promise. Jordan came through the administrative wing. She walked past him without making eye contact. Two senior managers came around the corner seconds later. Jordan's face transformed. Well done, she said warmly, turning to Deven. You're doing a great job. Deven looked up. Thank you, ma'am. Some people don't even acknowledge cleaners. That's not right. Everyone deserves respect. The managers smiled. Jordan smiled. Everyone smiled. Then the managers turned the corner. Jordan's smile evaporated. She looked at his bucket sitting near the entrance to her office and frowned. Move that. It makes the area look cluttered. Sorry, ma'am. He moved it. And next time, keep your equipment out of high-traffic areas. She walked inside and closed the door. Deven stood in the empty hallway. There it is. The days stacked up. He cleaned conference rooms after meetings. He emptied bins filled with coffee cups and shredded paper. He wiped glass doors every morning. He mopped the same floors twice when someone tracked mud in from the parking lot. Most staff treated him like ambient furniture, but Brianna treated him like a person. Every morning, good morning, Deven. Every time, hope the day isn't too much yet. Not performed. Not staged. Just real. One afternoon he was cleaning the conference room alone after a long board session. He was tired. He could feel it in his shoulders. He hadn't eaten since early morning. Brianna passed the open door with a stack of files. She stopped. Deven. Ma'am. Did you eat? He didn't answer fast enough. She disappeared. He thought she was gone. She came back with a bottle of water and a wrapped sandwich from the break room. You've been working since before most of us got here, she said. Take this before the water gets warm. Ma'am, you don't have to. You're not troubling me. She set it on the table beside him. Cleaners hold this building together. Half the time nobody even looks up to say thank you. He opened his mouth to say something. She was already walking away. He stood there holding the water bottle. It weighed more than it should have. Meanwhile, Kylie changed. Since Morgan's conversation, everything about her had amplified. The dresses got louder. The jewelry got heavier. The perfume arrived before she did. During lunch break, she leaned toward Aisha. Very soon people in this building are going to understand my real position. Kylie, calm down. I'm serious. When Deven takes over, certain people need to start adjusting their tone. You haven't even met him. I don't need to. Some things are obvious. Later that afternoon, she stopped at Deven's station. Cleaner. He looked up. Come wipe my desk again. Ma'am. I wiped it an hour ago. I didn't ask what you did an hour ago. He walked over. She watched him work, then deliberately knocked over a small cup of water from the edge of her desk. It splashed across the floor. Look what happened, she said slowly. Now clean that too. She looked him over. You're actually not terrible looking. It's almost a shame. Some people are born to sit in offices and some are born to clean them. You clearly got the short end. Will that be all, ma'am? Don't leave it sticky. He walked away without a word. Behind him, Kylie felt nothing. That was the most telling part. The moment that changed everything came midway through the second week. Kylie was walking from the break room with a cup of tea when Marcus, a junior intern, came rushing out of the records room with an armful of files. They collided. Tea across her hand. Papers across the floor. Are you serious? She pulled back from him like he'd burned her. Watch where you're going. I'm so sorry. I didn't see. You didn't see me? She held up her hand. You could have scalded me. What is wrong with you? I'm really sorry, ma'am. Cleaner. She didn't even look at Deven. Just aimed her voice. Come clean this up. Right now. Marcus stood frozen. Brianna was passing the hallway when she heard it. She stopped. Kylie. There's no need for that. Kylie turned. Excuse me? You don't have to speak to him like that. It was an accident. Are you seriously defending him? He's a person. Brianna's voice was steady. Before he's an intern, he's a person. He apologized. That's enough. Kylie stared at her. You're defending a cleaner now too? Is that your thing? I'm defending a person who's doing honest work. And that's not less than what you or I are doing. Kylie made a sound and walked off. Marcus quietly said thank you. Brianna nodded once. Just do your work well. Deven had heard everything. He didn't react. But something in his chest settled. The way something does when you finally stop second-guessing something you already know. Jordan saw the moment too. But she reacted differently. The next morning, she appeared near Deven's station with a small snack bag. Deven. She extended it toward him with two senior staff visible at the far end of the hall. You've been working since early. Take this. Thank you, ma'am. She smiled like she'd solved something. Later, when they were alone, she dropped the performance. You know, she said quietly, Brianna isn't what she seems. Some people do kind things just to look kind. You should be careful about who you trust. Deven looked at her. That's generous of you. She blinked at the flatness in his voice. He walked away. She watched him go, a cold feeling settling behind her ribs. That evening, Caleb found Morgan in her office. Jordan's been asking questions again, about whether Deven has come back privately. She went through Rita. She's been mapping it. Morgan put her pen down. She's not looking for love, she said quietly. She's looking for a door. Deven and Brianna kept talking. Not loudly, not noticeably. Small conversations after hours. A short exchange near the stairwell. Notes, he started leaving them tucked into her file folder when no one was watching. Don't let this office take your peace. She read it twice. Smiled for the rest of the afternoon without knowing why she was smiling. One evening she stayed late to finish a report. He was straightening chairs in the conference room. She dropped a folder. He helped pick it up. They ended up talking for 20 minutes. You work hard for someone who acts like they're not bothered, she said. I just don't think complaining changes anything. You've known struggle. Hasn't everyone? She tilted her head. Not the way you're saying it. He looked at her. A job doesn't tell you what a person is worth. Their character does. She was quiet for a second. I believe that too. They were both quiet then. That was the moment it became something real. Kylie noticed first. She watched Brianna's face every time Deven passed. So she's actually into the cleaner, she told Aisha. I can't. Leave it alone. She embarrassed herself for him in front of the whole hall, in front of senior staff. Maybe she just has values. Values. Kylie said the word like it was a mistake. She was being considered for Deven Caldwell, and she's chasing a man with a mop. Let her. That removes the competition. But the irritation didn't leave. Kylie cornered Brianna 3 days later near the printer. So I know what you've been doing. Brianna didn't look up from her papers. What am I doing? Don't play innocent. Everyone's seen you with that cleaner. The food. The hallway conversations. The looks. People are allowed to be kind to each other. Madam called you about her son, and you're out here going soft over someone who earns minimum wage. You've embarrassed yourself. I like him. The words landed simply. Kylie went quiet. I like who he is. And I'm not going to pretend I don't because it's inconvenient for someone else's plans. You'll lose everything. Then it was never mine to keep. Kylie walked away without another word. Brianna stood there, heart pounding. Then she picked up her phone and called Morgan. Ma'am, I need to be honest with you. Go ahead. I'm no longer interested in meeting your son for marriage. Her throat tightened. I've fallen for someone. He works in the building. His name is Deven. He's on the cleaning staff. Silence. Then, come to the house this weekend. Ma'am, are you upset? Come Saturday morning. Early. The line went quiet. Brianna stood with the phone against her chest. She didn't know if she just saved herself or ended everything. Saturday. She arrived first. Morgan's home was large but calm. The kind of house that had been lived in, not decorated. Morgan offered her tea. They sat. Don't be afraid, Morgan said. Brianna tried not to be. Then footsteps came from the hall. She turned. The man who walked in was wearing a button-down shirt and clean slacks. His hair was brushed. His posture was straight. She knew that posture. She knew those eyes. Deven. He stopped in the center of the room. My name is Deven Caldwell, he said. I'm her son. The room held still. The cleaner, she said slowly. Yes. All of it. Yes. She didn't speak for a full 10 seconds. She looked at her hands. Then at Morgan. Then back at him. You let me look like a fool in front of the whole office, she said quietly. I know. I told my coworkers I liked a cleaner. I know. I called your mother and told her I wasn't interested in meeting her son. I know. She exhaled. Something between a laugh and a breath. Then, was any of it real? He didn't hesitate. Every word, he said. Every note. Every evening. All of it was real. She looked at him for a long time. Okay, she said finally. Just that. Okay. Morgan watched them both and said nothing. An hour later, Kylie arrived. She came through the front door still composed, bright, polished, already performing. She stopped when she saw Deven. Her eyes ran over his clothes, his posture, the way Morgan sat next to him. Her face went through 3 different things in 2 seconds. That's my son, Morgan said. Yes. Kylie turned to him. Deven. Her voice rearranged itself. I always knew there was something different about you. From the very beginning, honestly. The way you carried yourself. You told me I got the short end because I was born to clean. She blinked. You said it was almost a shame that I was decent looking. That some people are born to sit in offices and some are born to clean them. Her mouth opened. You knocked water onto the floor and told me not to leave it sticky. The room was silent. I didn't. She stopped. I didn't know. You didn't know it was me. That's exactly the point. She tried again. I can explain. I was stressed that week. I'm not like that normally. I care about people. Kylie. Morgan's voice was soft. Your real answer came when you thought nobody important was watching. That's the only answer that matters. Kylie's composure finally cracked. She cried. She apologized. She said she could change. She probably could. But not for this. Jordan arrived last. She was the most careful one. She came in quietly, read the room immediately, and adjusted. She didn't insult Deven. She didn't pretend she'd always believed in him. She smiled graciously at Brianna and said congratulations. But when Morgan spoke privately with Caleb later, Caleb confirmed everything. Jordan had spent 2 weeks running quiet intelligence, probing Rita, mapping Deven's return, calculating angles. She never wanted the man. She wanted the position. She's talented, Morgan said, and she'll go far if she learns to use it honestly. She had Caleb reassign Jordan to a role with more responsibility but less access to sensitive information. Jordan accepted the reassignment without complaint. She understood what it meant. The Monday after, every employee at Caldwell Group was called to the main conference room. Deven walked in beside his mother. Not with a mop. In a suit. The same face. The same calm. The same man who had mopped their floors and emptied their bins and been told not to leave the floor sticky. The room made a sound like air being let out of something. Deven stood at the front. "I've worked in this building for 2 weeks," he said. "Some of you were kind to me. Some of you didn't see me at all. A few of you made sure I understood my place. Nobody moved. I'm not here to punish anyone, but I am here to change something." He paused. "The people who keep this building clean, who drive the company cars, who work the loading dock, who answer phones and sort mail and run files, they are not furniture. They are the reason everything else works." He looked around the room. Salaries for cleaning and maintenance staff are being reviewed upward. Break areas are being upgraded. A formal respect policy goes into effect immediately. Anyone found demeaning another employee based on their role will face disciplinary action. Not a warning. Action. Silence. This company will be known for what it produces and how it treats people. Both. Not one. He stepped back. Morgan watched her son stand at the front of everything she had built. She had raised him to understand that money could buy comfort. She had not had to teach him the rest. He'd already known. 3 months later, Deven proposed at a small dinner. No announcement. No audience. Just Brianna, her mother, and his. "When I met you," he said, "I was holding a mop and you were holding a sandwich you'd bought for me with your own money because you thought I hadn't eaten." He paused. "You didn't know who I was. You just saw someone tired. And you did something about it." She was already trying not to cry. "I don't need someone who loves what I have," he said. "I need someone who sees me. You were the only one who did." He held out the ring. "Will you?" She said yes before he finished the sentence. Kylie resigned 4 weeks after the reveal. The whispers followed her everywhere. Not because people were cruel, but because she had been, and they remembered. Jordan stayed. She grew into the new role. Became sharper in ways that didn't require manipulation. Morgan respected the change, even if trust never fully returned. Brianna married Deven on a clear April morning. She didn't become someone else. She still greeted the building staff by name, still held doors, still called out unfairness when she saw it. Not because it made her look good, but because it was the right thing and she'd always done it that way. Deven watched her sometimes, in quiet moments, and thought about the first morning. The wet floor, her waiting without complaint so she didn't ruin his work. A small thing, but he'd learned something about people from it. The ones who respect the work are the ones who understand what work costs. Morgan sat at her desk 6 months later. The same desk, the same view, the same quiet fire. Rita set a file in front of her. "The quarterly review is ready. Leave it." "Yes, ma'am." Rita paused at the door. "Ma'am, you knew, didn't you? From the very beginning. You already knew it would be Brianna." Morgan picked up her pen. "I knew who I was looking for," she said. "I just needed to see if she was who she'd always been." Rita left. Morgan looked at the window. Outside, the city moved. Inside, she thought about a morning long ago when she'd cried in private and wiped her face and gone back to work. She had not known then that the hardest thing she would ever build was not a company. It was a life worth passing down. The uniform never changed who he was. It only showed everyone else who they were.